Hello guys, I am back from another video and today we're talking about whether Deku had a kaiju quirk. So in the last video Deku, well, when Izuku woke up with Momo naked in his bed. So the whole day was about Izuku remembering what happened last night. But when Izuku finally remembered last night, well, it shook him to his core. Apparently, well, Momo was really jealous at every girl for trying to steal Izuku away. So, she basically marked Izuku by basically biting on Izuku's neck because that she now well owns Izuku, quote unquote. So any girl that tries to how do I say it, steal Izuku away, sh- well, Izuku was forced to basically show, um, several girls his mark. The mark that Momo made on Izuku's body. So, yeah. So, okay. So, let's talk about what happens next.
So, when Izuku was arriving to class, they were told that they're gonna be picking their hero names and also, well, picking their agencies. So, Izuku was picking his hero name as he was deciding. So, apparently almost every person on like the post didn't even made a hero name. Only just one, and that was just Godzilla. Which, not gonna lie, I just don't like because it's already a kaiju name for a different kaiju. Izuku transforms into a hyena, half nightmare fuel creature or whatever. But for Godzilla, it's just basically some sort of like gigantic lizard. They wait for a sec. It doesn't really mix. Not gonna lie. So I made a hero name myself. So yeah. So this is the hero name. So Izuku goes up to the pedestal. As Izuku says this, I am the kaiju hero. They call me they call me Snaggletooth. As they say, really, why Snaggletooth? Says Momo. Izuku says this, well, my kaiju form has sharp and I decided to make that my hero name. So is that okay, teacher? As Midnight says this, yeah, it's okay. So yeah. So when they were picking their agencies, Izuku decides to pick the agency that is being run by the agency being run by Night Eye. And yes, he's gonna be going to Night Eye's agency if you didn't get the memo. So yeah. So when Izuku told everybody that he's gonna be going to um Night Eye's agency, Momo decides to go there as well. So wait for a second. So when Izuku was preparing to go to Night Eye's agency, Izuku hears Momo. As Momo says this, "Hey Izuku." Izuku says, yes, Miss. I meant Momo. As Momo says this, I'm gonna be going to the same agency as you. Izuku says, really? As she says this, yeah, we're gonna be together for a whole week, all alone. She smiles, but not like the happy smile, like this almost like um seductive smile. Not sadistic, seductive. So she starts looking at Izuku. Izuku says, um, what is it, Momo? As she says this, well, I've been hearing a lot of things, including, like, I heard that you're talking to another girl behind my back. Izuku says, oh, yeah, that was just a, another student that wanted my help. says this bullshit. And yes, this is still an 18 plus series, so there's gonna be swearing in this one. So she says this: nobody's allowed to touch you but me. I'm the master, and you're my little pet. As Zuko says, what happened to you? You were so sweet. You were so sweet, but as she says this, shut up. Izuku says, what? She pushes Izuku to the bed as she looms over him. As she says this, you're not allowed to talk to any other girl but me. I'll give you permission if you want to talk to another girl. Got it? And also, I wanted to ask, which color of lingerie do you like? Izuku says, oh, what? As she says this, oh, come on. It's gonna be for, well, when we get to, well, when we get there to the agency. Because this, oh, think I'll just, I think I'll just get some sleep. As she says this, fine. Good night, Izuku. She blows a kiss at Izuku. Izuku thinks his mind, what happened to her? Why did she turn into this? So yeah. So after that day, they started going to their, well, Izuku and Momo started going to their agency, specifically to Night Eye's agency. So yeah, wait for a second. So when they made it to the, well, to Night Eye's agency, Night Eye says this. So you must be the brand new students that are gonna be, well, interning here. Izuku says this. Yeah, my name is Izuku, and this is Momo Yaoyorozu. As he says this. So you must be Momo Yaoyorozu, the daughter of Mr. Yaoyorozu, the CEO of the greatest one of the manufacturers for, well, hero items, one of the best, in fact. It's quite honored to finally meet you. As she says this, oh, it's nice to meet you too. So wait for a second. So while they were walking around, they made it to, well, to Nadai's, well, office. As Nadai says this, alright, you're gonna be working with my, well, to the brand new number one hero soon. As in number one hero soon, I mean he's going to be the successor for All Might. As they say, wait, really? As he says this, correct. So this is, well, meet Mirio, aka Lamillion. As he says this, as in he says, I mean that's a girl. And I'm only making her a girl because, well, I just want to do this, like, well, really funny segment. So yeah, just bear with it. So she says this. Hello there, my name is Mirio, also known as wait for a second. Lamillion, I meant. So, Izuki says this. Nice to meet you. So they shake hands as Momo starts getting a little bit jealous, looking at Izuku as she says this. Izuku? Izuku says, what is it, Mo? As she starts getting a little bit mad. As she says this. Show them immediately. As, Night says this. Show? What is show? As when Izuku basically takes off his collar a little bit, or at least loosens it up, Izuku shows the mark that, well, or the hickey that, well, that Momo made well, last time they, well, the last time they had fun time. Anyway, just wait for it. As Dane says this, um I don't know where this is going, but I don't like it. As she says this, as in she says this, I mean, well, Momo says this. Any, anybody, including you, Miss Mirio, is not allowed to touch Izuku but me. That is why he's my, well, my future husband. As, wait for a second, as mid, I meant, Night Eye says this. Huh, so you're gonna be her husband. Interesting. And also, by the way, quite a lucky boy you are. As for, for, well, Mirio, she says this. Did you actually, uh, um, as, well, Momo says this. Yes, I did it with him. Ah, that felt so good. Especially this big thing, piercing. That felt good last time. As she starts holding her chest a little bit. As Muriel is basically, looking at Izuku weirdly. As Izuku says, it's not like that. As she says this, I'm definitely taken away from you. Izuku says, uh. Izuku starts crying a little bit inside, thinking in his mind, I'm fucking doomed. Yeah. Well, Izuku's freaking doomed, in fact. Anyway, so, they were told by Night Eye that they're gonna be, patrolling the city for a while. So, wait for a second. So, in these patrols, Izuku, Mirio, and Momo are basically just patrolling the city for a while. It's been a week since, anything happened. So, Izuku decides to go, to do something. So, Izuku tells Momo that they're gonna be going to a coffee shop. As Momo says this, that would be wonderful. It's gonna be like a date. Izuku says, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So, when Momo arrives, she sees Izuku right in the coffee, shop, sitting on the table reserved for both of them. So, she says this. Ah, feels nice, Izuku. So, what did you order me? Izuku says, your favorite. So, when the waiter basically arrives, he slash she I it doesn't matter. Let's just say it's a he. So he brings out um this. He brings out chamomile tea, and for Izuku he gets some black coffee with a little bit of cream, and for like some dippings there's some crackers and also cookies or something. It doesn't matter. While they were eating and drinking, they started talking a little bit. Izuku was laughing at the jokes that that Momo made. As Momo said this, so Izuku, I wanted to ask Izuku you. Izuku says this, yeah Momo? As she says this, well, I wanted to ask, do you want to have some fun later? Izuku says, what do you mean by fun later? As she says this, well, after the agency, we should, well, have that thing like last time. As Izuku looks at his, or at least feels his neck twingling. I meant this neck tingling. Wait for a sec. After Izuku feels his neck tingling, Izuku says to himself, so she wants to do that again. Oh no. As she says this, I want to feel you like last time. So, do you accept Izuku? Izuku says this. Sure, I am your well, your loyal pet. As she says this, no, you're my loyal husband. as her smile becomes a little bit more, well, seductive. As she says this, alright, waiter, um, we're finished, so I'll just pay it with my credit card. So, while they were paying, Izuku sees, well, something weird. A black portal right in the alleyway. As Izuku sees a weird looking figure wearing a robe. As Izuku tells Momo about this, Momo said this. Alright, guess we should investigate that. So wait for a second. So when they were sorry about that. So when they get back to the agency, Izuku reports this to Night Eye. So thank you. So Night Eye basically says this. So if this villain you're gonna be calling him slash her or whatever, he might be causing trouble, right? Izuku says this. Yeah. And Mo says this. Yeah. I think he's planning something. I also saw him with some sort of, well, some sort of weird looking canister. This canister contains like this weird looking whatever it is. It looked weird. It looks suspicious. As Nadai says this, alright, let me just use my quirk. So, he uses his quirk, foresight, as. Also, by the way, if I'm saying his quirk wrong, well, you can just well, correct me in the comments. I think it's foresight or something. You can just correct me. So, when he looks into the future, he sees, well, several villains attacking. Some that are not even look human anymore. They're actually Nomus. So, he says this. Alright, we should try and find this whatever it is. It seems that it came out of the town square in my vision. Aizuki says, alright, let's do it. So, when they were about to go, Mirio comes to them. They started going off to, well, so they started going into the park as Izuku and Mirio and Momo start looking around, trying to find this weird looking canister. As Momo said this, hey guys, I think I found something. As she finds the canister contains this weird looking, whatever it is, it looks like a gas. The gas was pure blood red. Izuku says this, I think it's a bad idea for you to shake it. As she says this, why? As when she keeps shaking it, it starts bubbling up. As she says this, I think we should run. As Izuku says, you think? So they started running away as the canister explodes. So several other canisters start exploding alongside it. So after the explosion, everybody sees, well, four different Nomus. One with different looking, well, forms. One looks like a bird like creature. The other one looks like a whatever it is. It looks like Cerberus from Greek mythology. The other one seems to be more turtle like. And the final one seems to be, well, a horse with like, well, several legs. As Izuku says this, probably experiments or something villains. As for, well, Mirio, she said this, wait, League of Villains? Never heard of them. Izuku says this, oh, they attacked us at the USJ once, so I think we know enough about them. As she says this, oh, okay, wait, well, what? As so, these Nomu start, well, moving in different directions. So, Izuku tells Night Eye about it, as Night Eye basically says this, you're allowed to use your quirk. So, Izuku starts, well, wait for a second. So, Izuku starts reporting it to the police as well. So, Izuku starts roaming around trying to find these, well, creatures. So, Izuku finds the Nomu with the, well, that looks like a horse. It also has like several legs. As the Nomu starts shooting out lightning, the Nomu also seems to have the ability to basically run at supersonic speeds. So Izuku, while I'm looking for it, the Nobu kicks him right in the back, causing him to fall down to the ground. But Izuku thankfully transforms into his into his kaiju form and grabs the Nomu. The Nomu basically tries to get out of his iron grip, but Izuku just basically said this to the Nomu. Pathetic creature. Now face my gas. As Izuku puts it up to his face, the Nomu, as the Nomu starts getting pounded by the gas that's produced from Izuku's, well, from Izuku's, let's just say, the gas that's being produced from Izuku's, kaiju form. So, after defeating that Nomu, the rest of the other heroes basically arrive. As they say, I think we can find the other ones. So, two of his other classmates basically arrived, which were Ida and wait for a sec and Todoroki. So Todoroki starts getting ready. As Todoroki starts looking around, so Todoroki says this, Izuku, I think I found something weird. So when Izuku arrives and the police arrive, they see it's some sort of like black goop. Izuku says this, interesting. I'm guessing it's from that Nomu. As for, Ida, he says this, plausible, but... So, Mirio says this, don't worry, we got this. After all, we are heroes in training. So, let's do this. So, while she was talking about like that, I'm talking about, wait for a second. When Mirio was basically holding her, I meant putting her arm against Izuku's back. Well, Momo was completely jealous. Izuku looks at her as she says this. Izuku. Izuku says, Mirio, you should definitely not do that. Well, it's a problem. As she says this, why is it? After all, we are fellow heroes. As Izuku says, for Momo, she thinks she's trying to, as she says this, oh yeah, okay. I think she probably thinks that I'm about to steal you, so I think it's better for you to just stay with, her. Izuku says, right. So, wait for a sec. So, after that whole thing, they started going back to their own, devices. They couldn't find the Nomu, so they started, going back to their dorms. So, when Izuku came back to his dorm room, Izuku sees Momo again. As Momo said this, that was tiring, right, Izuku? Izuku says this, yeah, a lot tiring. As she says this, hey, Izuku. Izuku says this, yeah, Momo? As she basically said this to Izuku. Izuku, I don't want you to talk. As in talk, I mean, try not to try not to get seduced by other girls. After all, you're mine. Isuki says this. Yeah, I know that. As she says this, I'm, I'm just warning you. Just don't. I, I love you. Isuki says this. I know you love me. After all, you did had fun with me. As she said this. Alright, Izuku. She leans in closer to Izuku. As she kisses Izuku around the lips, she starts leaving as this. Good night, Izuku. She smiles. So, Izuku goes to sleep. Wait for a second. So, Izuku starts going to sleep, but before he goes to sleep, he thinks of, Momo. Izuku says this. I would lay my life for you, Todoroki. I meant Momo. So Izuku, while thinking about this, Izuku says this, Momo. As Izuku basically holds his chest, puts his arm on his chest, Izuku says this, I love you. I love you with a burning passion. I would do anything for you, but you're not your true self. I want you back, your old self, back when you were innocent. Izuku kind of cries. Izuku says this, I just hope you're I just hope you didn't turn into a monster. So yeah. So after Izuku does that, after Izuku does that, Izuku goes to sleep. So yeah, so I'm really sorry for the video being short, but anyway, so before you leave guys, just subscribe so you can see videos made by me and really good content like me, even though my content is not really that good thanks to my headphones. But anyway, so I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.